speech beyond balance, or I'm your son.
And yes, I'd also like to quote Ivan Atamenko coming to this stage with a speech, how difficult it is to find that balance in private life and in work. And then Graham comes to give a speech mainly about how difficult it is for women. That most of them still don't find that kind of balance between family life and work. And now I come to stage and I say, well, I guess whatever I say, that a lot of you are going to agree with me. Why? Because we are all equal in searching for some sort of a balance, and equal in the fact that we have to choose our challenge. And who am I to say so? I am your feminist. And many of the members, dear guests, will say, easy for Ivo to say. He's been on the stage a lot. No, but then let us try to illustrate this. Could I ask Arthur, please, to come briefly on stage with me? Ladies, see how this guy moves. And he's available. Arthur started and got known in Toastmasters, I think, only a year ago. Less than a year ago. Listen to that. And that was in Odessa. And now he is here, and he is the president of this club. How do you do that? That is because Arthur chose this as a challenge. And for that, he has been reaching beyond his balance. Could you do that with me together? On your toes. Beyond his balance. Thank you very much, Arthur. Please sit down. At this moment, I'd like to quote John Fitzgerald Kennedy, President of the United States. Sorry, Graham, I'm a Democrat. Who said, "We choose to go to the moon and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard." And that is why I believe that Arthur will do a great job as a president, reaching above your balance. And that is quite difficult. Graham said so, you have to work hard for it. And yes, I believe that amongst us there is nobody who comes even near Graham with reading so many books and presenting research and statistics. He knows what he's talking about. Then let me quote from 1895, Leonard H. Courtney, and not Mark Twain, who said, "There are lies. There are damned lies, and there are statistics." So with that simple approach, I can say, of course statistics will show what Graham mentioned, because it's male-dominated research. I'm not going to battle with any statistics, because I believe the research has been done well. No, let me simply, as I used Arthur as an illustration, illustrate some successful women through the course of history. Let me first illustrate, and you imagine Cleopatra, Pharaoh of Egypt. Men make war, women make civilization. And she, to conserve the civilization of Egypt, wound around her finger the most powerful man of that moment in history, Julius Caesar. And when Julius Caesar got killed by men who make war, she preserved the civilization by pulling the same trick again with the mighty Mark Antony. Queen Zenobia, queen of a large empire, no, let's say kingdom at that moment, Palmyra, in current-day Syria, effectively fought off the Romans for a very long time, and then started cooperating with them instead of competing. Now, maybe these examples are a bit too belligerent for you. So I present to you, from the Middle Ages, the most peaceful woman that you can imagine, Hildegard von Bingen, a very effective manager. She was not managing a Toastmasters club, but a whole convent of religious people. But she also was reaching beyond her balance and wrote music, composed music, and we're talking Middle Ages, heavenly, beautiful choral music that is so good and so beautiful that it is being performed until today throughout many places on our northern hemisphere. Jumping on in history, the Age of Enlightenment, Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia, might not be an example that goes down very well here in Ukraine. So if I step on a little bit further into the beginning of the 20th century to illustrate Madame Curie of Polish heritage. The first woman reaching that far beyond her balance that they gave her a Nobel Prize. What? Not one for physics, no, two, also for chemistry. And further on in this 20th century, we had Margaret Thatcher, a conservative, who effectively tore apart the male-dominated bulwarks of the labor unions in the United Kingdom. Now, if I mention the Brits, I should also mention the French, and mention Madame Christine Lagarde, effective feminine finance minister of France, flamboyant with élan, wearing shawls like these. You would never have heard about her, the finance minister of France, were it not for the, also French, male chauvinist pig Dominique Strauss-Kahn, who for the umpteenth time forced sex upon a woman, black, young, in a hotel in New York. But this time the world learned about it and the world forced him out of the International Monetary Fund and asked the woman with élan and flamboyance, Christine Lagarde, to take over. And she's been doing that very effectively. Now, that doesn't give her a good name in this country, Ukraine. Now, the best political foreign friend Ukraine has ever had is Dalia Grybauskaitė, the president of Lithuania, a very strong woman. And I round off this little set of illustrations by mentioning Angela Merkel, the most powerful person in the European Union. And that is not just a set of exceptions, not at all. All throughout history, women have shown that they can go beyond the balance. And this is Ukraine. And I look around at the women, and I'm quite positive that hardly anybody of you, if maybe even none, would really like to look like Angela Merkel. You are too feminine for that. Illustrating, Larissa, can I ask you to please help me? Now that is what I call Ukrainian femininity. And for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, Larissa was not in our Toastmasters community because it was so difficult to balance work with a private life. And then she returned, and she took up the challenge. Having returned not that long for a while, she decided to participate in the speech contest. Please with me, reach beyond your balance. Beyond your balance. And she won the speech contest in Art Talkers. Congratulations and thank you very much. So that shows that if any of us women here, and I say so because I am your feminist, chooses the personal challenge and reach beyond your balance, you bring out the best